Good evening, everybody, and thank you for joining us tonight on the Healthcare Billing Incorporated pre-race show. We got some truck action for you tonight at Dover. I'm Greg Olenik with my co-host Brandon Domingue. Brandon, how are you doing this Wednesday evening?
Oh, doing good as always on race night. I know that this week going to be a little bit more tricky than we saw at Kansas for these Truck Series drivers. A lot more treacherous of a track. Ready to see how they take it on. How are you doing tonight?
Very excited for this. We had an absolutely awesome race last Wednesday at Kansas. We had lead changes everywhere. We had awesome passes. Just overall awesome racing, and that's what we want here in the Speed Racing Network Truck Series. So, Brandon, do you think we see a lot of the same tonight? Do you think we see a ton of lead changes, some great racing up front, and just some really overall great action out there?
I would love to say yes, but this track a whole lot more narrow, a whole lot less options for these drivers to navigate around. A lot trickier of a track being on the concrete mile at Dover. I think we're going to see a very different race tonight. I think it's going to be one of survival more than just kind of getting that pack racing like we had in a lot of ways last week for the trucks, just with the way that the setup is and the track plays out. I think tonight it's going to be a whole lot different. I think it's going to be whoever can keep their truck the cleanest is going to be the one that gets this finish that they want.
Agree more. They call it the Monster Mile for a reason. So let's go ahead and get into this Healthcare Billing Incorporated pre-race show. You see it right there. We're in week number 3 for the Dodging Delaware 125, live from Dover International Speedway, 125 laps. And this is the only series within Speed Racing Network that utilizes the fast repair. So we have quite a bit of laps to turn here tonight, but let's go ahead and get into our league details next, just to always show you guys exactly what we do here at Speed Racing Network. It is a 20-week season with fixed setups. Like I mentioned earlier, one fast repair for these trucks. These guys are paying $5 a week to get into the race, and they are racing for weekly and season payouts. $300 going to that first place champion, and we have up to 5-person teams, and that team champion is going to come away with $100, Brandon.
Yeah, those weekly and season payouts that are going out not only for the drivers, but the season payouts for the team as well, as we get down to our top 8 teams at the end of the regular season after week 13. And then we're going to move into our new playoff format that's very much going to be bracket style for the teams this year. Going to keep it exciting with that final race being one team versus another amongst the race, with everybody else still out there, similar to what you see in the real playoffs for NASCAR. It's going to be those teams against each other competing for that $100 prize, winner take all in that one. Going to be exciting once we get to that point.
Yeah, that's what we're trying to do here at SRN, bring you guys some exciting action all season long, and that team championship playoff format will exactly do just that. So let's go ahead and move on to what these guys are racing for tonight. And first place going to come away with $15. Second going to come away with $10. Third through fifth going to get that $5 entry back, probably put it towards next week's entry, Brandon. So a lot of money on the line for just a $5 entry.
Yeah, always nice that you can triple your money with the race win, and that'll also put you in a good position to vie for that season prize money as well. But again, like we say it every week, third through fifth, you're getting your money back and pay it forward to the following race, or if you've already paid for everything, you're just putting a little money in your pocket at the end of the night. Not a bad way to spend a Wednesday.
Not bad at all. Let's go ahead and move on in the Healthcare Billing Incorporated pre-race show, and we're going to get to season payouts now, see what these guys are racing for through these 20 weeks, and it's going to be a nice chunk of cash paying out first through eighth, which is a little bit different than what we did last season. Only the final 5 in the playoffs were the ones that got paid for the season payouts. So first going to come away with $300, second's going to get $150, third going to come away with $90, fourth getting $60, with fifth coming away with $40, and sixth coming away with $30, seventh's going to get $20, and eighth's just going to walk away with $10, which is nothing to complain about, Brandon.
Not at all, and I kind of joked about it last week. I wish here in the Truck Series we had this format last year with the way it ended for me, being just short of that Championship 6 when you throw in the tiebreaker that happened there. But yeah, I mean, I really like that we're expanding the field, and yeah, it's a little bit less once you get farther down than they might have saw last year from third on back, but you know, I really like that we've expanded the amount of people that are getting paid out at the end of the season. I think it's great for the league.
Well, yeah, you're going to have to unfortunately take that up with the league owner, Jason Tripp. on getting your money for last season, but I don't think you're going to really come away with it, considering, it was a little bit different last year, but unfortunately, you still had a great run. You're going to get it back this year. I can already feel it.
Oh, well, the start at the Xfinity season for me, I'm not too sure about that, but I like the optimism. Maybe one thing that could help, though, is Kane Cook, who I know we've both worked with him the past couple weeks, or the past few weeks going into the season. You had great results with him at Kansas last week, winding up in victory lane, and Kane's somebody that definitely knows what he's talking about when it comes to iRacing.
Yeah, a bit of a moving billboard for the man at this point. Put together 2 wins thanks to him at Texas and Kansas, and he's really taught me so much about this sim, and he could do the same for you. It's real easy to just go on to speedracingnetwork.com, scroll down a little bit on the homepage, and just go through all the prompts. He'll set you up with a time and date to get it done, but you see it right there. The man's got 2 accounts, both professional accounts, with an iRating of over 7,000 on each of them, and the guy is racing for $300,000 in the Coke Series, the highest series within iRacing. So that just tells you right there, this is somebody you want to listen to.
Yeah, and he's somebody that had a good night last night in the All-Star Open that they had there, running up near the front for a good bit of that race. And he's had the success over the past few years on that iRacing series. So definitely somebody to look into if you want to get better at iRacing.
Couldn't agree more with you, Brandon. Well, let's go ahead and get to a news segment, one of our favorite segments already on the Healthcare Billing Incorporated pre-race show. It's going to be the Beer of the Week presented by Beer Street Journal, and Sean Griffith has it for us this week.
This week's Beer of the Week comes out of Highland Brewing in Asheville, North Carolina. October is just around the corner, and Highland Brewing is setting up to release their Clawhammer Oktoberfest beer for the 11th straight year. Any beer that can maintain a following for 11 years is obviously incredible, but with the lead time that is needed to produce a lager like this, Highland Brewing has taken extra care to continuously put out one of the best fest beers brewed here in America. This beer is as timeless as it is delicious. It's toasty, light-colored, rich, full-bodied, crisp, and clean. Just like Oktoberfest, this beer is definitely German-inspired, but it's made right here in the good old US of A. So go grab a stein and try out this beer. The Beer of the Week is brought to you by Beer Street Journal, the leading publication in reviewing craft beers from across the country. Go to beerstreetjournal.com to find your next great beer. And as always, you must be 21 to enjoy, and please drink responsibly.
We want to thank Sean Griffith, as always, presenting our beer of the week. This week, you see it there, Highland Brewing's Clawhammer Oktoberfest. Brandon, this is quite a name that we got here on Beer Street Journal's Beer of the Week this week.
Yeah, that's a heck of a name there with the Clawhammer. But you know what? Every single week we've had this thus far, and every single week I've thought, man, that's a beer I need to try. But once again, it's happening here tonight with this lager. And, I'm a lager guy more than anything. There's a few other types I like, so this is kind of speaking my language here, and might have to go visit there next time I'm up in North Carolina.
Yeah, go ahead, check them out at highlandbrewing.com out of Asheville, North Carolina, not too far from me. And if you want to check out more amazing beers, you see it right there, beerstreetjournal.com. Got to thank them again for coming on board this season. We're loving this segment. So let's go ahead and move on in the Healthcare Billing Incorporated pre-race show. We got our individual standings here, and our leader, we got 2 of them this week. Sean Jensick, Nathan Mon, both at the top of the board, followed closely by Jonathan Byer and Cole Martin, both tied for 3rd, with Michael Madden rounding out the top 5. Any surprises you see here, Brandon?
Well, I mean, the thing that's not surprising is seeing 3 of those names up there in the top 5 with Martin, Madden, and Byer. 3 of the names that we knew from last year were very strong. And then we have Sean Jensick, who wasn't with SRN last year, Nathan Mon, who was up a series last year. They come down, and they're taking it to the Truck Series veterans right now. And I think that's an impressive showing thus far. Still very early, 11 weeks left till we start the postseason. I think this is going to get shaken up a whole lot more, but that top 5, it's looking pretty stout early on.
New names in the top 15. I can tell you, though, that the lead will change this week as Sean Jensick is on vacation, so he will not be out there at Dover tonight. So that is up for grabs for these guys. Nathan Mon, the second fastest out there in practice right now. He's going to have a good shot at it. But we got a lot of guys sitting outside the cut followed by Travis Trevelyan, Cody Riggs, Kevin Wanker, just to name a few, Bobby Anderson, Joseph DuPont, Troy Techmeyer, Michael York sitting down there in 26. Brandon, what do you think of all these guys?
Yeah, there's a lot of names I look at on this list, and you pretty much named them all there for a bit, but that I'm a little surprised they're sitting back here after a couple races. But when you really think about it, we had one race at Daytona, then we had a more traditional style race that'll play out more like that, with less grenades kind of landing around everybody. And I think at this point we're going to start settling into things. No, there's a few drivers on this list that won't be here tonight, and that's going to kind of add a little separation, but we do have the drop week policy, so that's something that we do account for.
3 drop weeks for these guys, so it gives them a little leniency to miss a week or two here or there. But yeah, this is our outside the cut right now. These guys are going to be really starting to make a push to get inside the cut to make that playoff for that money at the end of the season. But let's go ahead and move on here in the Healthcare Billing Incorporated pre-race show. We're going to have our team standings next. And at the top of the board, Roel Motorsports, after a 1-2-3 finish last week in the Truck Series, getting max points. That moved them up to first, followed closely by Rev'd Racing, and second by 2 points back. Third's going to be Jonathan Byer Racing with 177 points.
Yeah, and I mean, with zero disrespect to any other team, I think these were the 3 teams that everybody kind of had their eye on when it came to this team's format, just with how deep they are, top to bottom, with Roel, Rev'd, and JBR. And I think that's kind of playing out like you thought. You know, you got Tank that's had some strong showings here and there. Stryker, my team from last season, they've had some good showings as well. That kind of got rattled there at Daytona. They were running up front for a lot of the race. So I think there's some threats to kind of grab some points here and there, but I think you're seeing the 3 teams that are the favorites coming into this. They are leading the way early.
Yeah, and I want to mention the race we're going to be paying attention to in this team championship standings with that playoff format. We're only taking 8 teams to compete for that team championship money. So that 8 and 9 mark is the spot we're going to be paying close attention to up until week 13. So do-gooders and 13-fold sim racing in a battle for that A spot right now. We'll pay closer attention to that as the season moves on. But let's go ahead and get into the team intros here on the Healthcare Billing Incorporated pre-race show. And first is going to be first place in the team championship standings, Roel Motorsports, and they got last season's champion Cole Martin heading the way for that truck team into 51, but he's going to have some trouble this year with his own teammate with the win sticker already right next to it in that 2 machine. Edward Scherer, last week's winner at Kansas, with Nathan Mon also having a good run in the 21. Michael York, a strong contender every week in the 23, and the 32 of Troy Techmeyer.
Yeah, I mean, there's no weak link, there it is, on this team. I mean, top to bottom, they're just consistently strong. And with Techmeyer and York, I think they're kind of getting into the flow of things here. Nathan Mon, Ed Shearer, and Cole Martin, they've just gotten off to a quick start, and that's not really a surprise to anybody.
They were strong last year, expected them to be strong this year. Another strong team last year. Last year's team champion is going to be Rev'd Racing, the original Rev'd Racing, going to come up here with the 7 machine of Lucas Lyons, who's had a really good start to his season, the 15 of Michael Madden, Daytona winner, the 29 of Sean Jensick, the 97 of Sean Kozer, and the 224 machine of Cody Riggs.
Yeah, and with this team, I mean, the first name that really grabs your eye is Michael Madden, but you're looking at Sean Jensick, who you said won't be here tonight, but after the first 2 races leading the way, Lucas Lyons has had some moments where you just see a lot of potential there with the driver in that 7 car, but Madden just kind of quietly compared to what he did last season, just sitting there in that 5th position and being in a solid spot early on.
Absolutely. He's going to be a contender every week. Another contender every week is Jonathan Byer Racing. You see it there, their motto, consistency, speed. And there you have it. Jonathan Byer is the team captain on this team. He's in the 66 truck. And he's got a lot of guys that he's used to here on the team. The 3 truck of Kyle Wimble, a newcomer, Landon Cardullo, the 35 of Jack Johnson, as well as the 75 of James Kerr.
Yeah, and Byer does grab the headlines there, but I've been really impressed with Landon. I thought he's had a great start to the season. It's been a little rocky at times, been kind of caught up and stuff, especially at Daytona. But for the most part, I think there's been a lot more good than bad for the driver in the 13, and really impressed with him thus far.
Another impressive team to SRN's Truck Series is going to be Tank Racing, always a contender out there. And they have some new names as well as some returning names from last season coming back for the Season 2 of the 2021 season. A newcomer, Jacob Zala, in the 25 machine. Josh Mueller, a veteran here in SRN. The 63 of Bruce Amsden. The 64 of Walt Lepicki in that Healthcare Billing Incorporated machine, and the 79 of Jeremy Duncan.
Yeah, and you touched on the name that's caught my eye in the first couple races here, and that's Jacob Zala. Been very, very fast. Had a lot of good speed last week at Kansas. Expect the same tonight. Saw his name kind of floating there around those faster times. Think that's something that may be this may be the night that we see another first-time winner.
Hey, anything's possible in this Truck Series. But let's go ahead and move on to our next team here in the Healthcare Billing Incorporated pre-race show. It is your team, Brandon. I will let you take the way as you will introduce your team this week.
Yeah, Stryker Motorsports, you saw it there, fast as lightning. They've been very fast for the most part in these races, just kind of getting snake bit, especially at Daytona. But in the 1, it's going to be Matt Johnson. The 9, Tevin Whitner. 33 is going to be Don Milkwitz. 42, Kevin Winker. And in that 71, Travis Trevelyan, who's been the longest team person here for Stryker on this Truck Series team. Been there for quite some time. And, like I said, just been a little bit of bad luck in these races thus far. Hopefully they can get that turned around.
Yeah, Kevin Winker and Don Malkowicz both had a really good performance at Daytona. I'm excited to see when Tevin Whitner breaks through. Matt Johnson, always a lot of speed. And Travis Trevelyan, like you said, the longest tenured driver here on Stryker Motorsports. So he is always a contender out there. Let's go ahead and move on to a new team out on SRN's Truck Series roster. It's going to be Zooyost Racing, one of my favorite animations that we have here. It says, "Don't feed the animals." And that is headed by the one and only Rob Yost Jr. down there in the 98 machine. This is his team. And on the team, the 06 of Blair Holloman, who's shown some good speed. The 4 of John Taylor. 16 of Dave Hughes Jr., who dropped down from the Cup Series. He's a contender every week. And the 38 of Jamie Plord.
Yeah, I think that their placement right now isn't indicative of how they've performed, really. I think there's been a lot of good speed from much of this team, and I've been really impressed. Obviously, you got the 98 of Rob Yost. He was in the playoffs last year. Jamie Plord, a solid driver, just hasn't had the results to show it just yet. I've really liked the pace for Blair Holloman as well. I think this is a team that'll move up here pretty quick if they can just get a little momentum.
Yeah, it was just consistent finishes last year, helped Rob Yost get to the playoffs, so I'm sure he's telling his guys just to do the same thing. Let's go ahead and move on to our next team here in the Healthcare Billing Incorporated pre-race show, team introductions, and that team is going to be one that's been here for quite a while. It's going to be R&D Motorsports, and they have some really strong contenders on their team as well. Don't be fooled by their team standings right now. 18 of Bobby Anderson, the 48 of Evan Scott, the 54 of Jason Kratke, the 55 of Michael Aminti, as well as the 99 of Mike Mosby. Brandon, these guys have had some really good runs this year, just some bad luck.
Yeah, there's another one of these teams that they've been near the front at times and just can't get the results in the end. Bobby Anderson obviously catching the eye when you look at this lineup, but somebody to keep an eye on tonight might be Jason Kratke, who had a solid finish last season when we came to Dover, finishing 14th.
Moving on to our 8th place team in the team standings, it's the Do-Gooders. They like to just go out there and have some fun, but that is not to take away from their contention each week. These guys are strong in their own right, and they're headed by the 17 of Danny Setzer, the 24 of Taylor Smith, the 88 of Joseph DuPont, the 90 machine of Corey Knight, and the 93 of Brad Yonkman.
Yeah, and this is a team that last season, a few of these drivers were here in that Truck Series race. A couple top 20s for this lineup here in that Truck Series race. So hopefully this is something that they can start building a little bit of momentum there. And I know for their sake, they're wanting to add a little bit of space over that cut line when it comes to the top 8 that'll advance to the playoff.
Moving on to our final team here on the Healthcare Billing Incorporated pre-race show. It's 13 Folds. Dim Racing, and we like to give out each meaning of each fold. This week it's fold number 3, and that is going to be honor of veterans departing our ranks. Couldn't thank these guys enough for coming out here with such a great cause, such a great team. But that team is going to be consisted of the 14 of David Miller, the 22 of Grant Altizer, the 28 of Clint Hackett, the 86 of Brian Crocker, as well as the 87 of Andrew Harris.
Yeah, and as far as when it comes to Dover, I keep an eye on that 86 truck of Brian Crocker. Had a pretty solid run last year, had some issues around midway through that race, but in the first half, pretty quick. Might be somebody to keep an eye on here in this one tonight. So I think the 86 is going to be somebody to look for.
All right, well, let's get down there on the track. We are gridding up for this week's Dodging Delaware 125, and you see it there, a new pole sitter to SRN. Jacob Zala going to get his first pole on the season for Tank Racing, followed by Cole Martin, Brandon.
Yeah, Jacob Zala, we were talking about the speed that he's carried. He's out in front with the defending champion in second. Row 2 is going to be Landon Cardullo out of Jonathan Byer Racing, and then Jonathan Byer himself will be on the outside of that second row. Row 3, Blair Holloman for Zoo Yost Racing. He'll be alongside Michael Madden out of Revd Racing.
Yeah, Kyle Wimble's going to be 7th, followed by Lucas Lyons, a rookie here in SRN. He's going to be 8th. Andrew Harris going to be 9th. And then 10th going to be David Miller. And rounding out our top 12 is going to be last week's winner, Edward Scherer out of Royal Motorsports. And 12th place is going to be Josh Mueller for Tank Racing. We want to go ahead and introduce one of our pit reporters for this week. We're going to have Landon Lacey on board. Landon, thanks for joining us tonight, bud. How you doing?
Doing good, sir.
All right. Well, good to hear it. All right, Brandon. Well, let's go ahead. I always like to give you the lead when it comes to picking our drivers for tonight. Who you got winning this thing?
You know what? I'm going to be a little diplomatic here. We got a first-timer with us tonight here as our pit reporter. I kind of want to defer this one over to Landon. Landon, who are you going to go with tonight?
I'm going with a guy. He's a rookie to SRN. Also a rookie to Revd Racing. He's been proving himself week in and week out. I'm going to go with the number 7 of Lucas Lyons. Plus, I have a little soft spot. I was the number 7 in the Cup Series last season. So I have a little soft spot with Lucas in the 7, but I think he's going to get it done today. He's pretty good at concrete tracks, and I look forward to seeing him in victory lane.
Not a bad pick. A little bit biased, we like to mention. We were joking about it a little earlier being on Rev, but, I'm going to be doing the same thing, Brandon. I'm going to go ahead and take Michael Madden this week. He all but guaranteed me a win for the Dover race tonight, so, I could not pass him up. So, Brandon, who are you taking tonight?
Well, I'm going to go with somebody that had a strong showing but didn't quite get the result last season, but very clean in the race at Dover while leading 50 laps. I'm going to go with Jonathan Byer, who's going to be starting in that 4th position. I think that's a good starting spot for somebody that'll have a pretty good run tonight. Keeps it clean every week. I think that's going to be very handy when it comes to Dover.
We're seeing our producer, Sean Griffith, get a little handy live, making some adjustments to our graphic there. But there you have it, our 3 picks tonight. We're green. Jacob Zala getting off to a great start over Cole Martin. Landon Cardullo going to be just behind him, followed by your pick, Jonathan Byer. Michael Madden already up to 5th. We're underway quickly tonight.
Yeah, Jacob Zala did not want to wait for anybody on that one. The second the pace car hit pit road, he took off, and Cole Martin was pretty ready for it, though. He stuck to him pretty close, and we're going to be side by side out of 4 on lap number 1 on Cole tires. That's a sketchy moment, but they make it look very simple.
Sticking it to him on the inside line. Landon, can you take us through a lap here in the trucks? What do you want to be? The middle lane, low line? Where's the best line for these guys to be running tonight?
For right now on fresh tires, you're going to be stuck to that bottom. Now, the problem is you're going to be a little bit tight being under a truck, just like Cole Martin was as Zala clears him. But you want to run that bottom. You want to try to force that truck to stay right on the top of that apron. But, the later in the run, you'll see guys moving up to the top to try to find more speed.
Well, right now, Jacob Zala has found that speed as he was able to clear last season's champion, the 51 of Cole Martin. Cole, I know he really wants to get that first win out of the way already to week 3, and he's bearing down on the 25 truck.
Yeah, Cole Martin. It sounds funny thinking, wow, he hasn't won yet as it's race number 3. But with what he did last season, winning 7 races out of the 20 that took place for the Truck Series at SRN, and he really got started around the midway point in the season. So he's off to a quick start compared to last year, which is a little scary for everybody else. But Jacob Zala doing a fantastic job out in front, keeping that 51 behind him.
I'm about to bring out the broadcaster's curse because I'm going to acknowledge the great racing that we're seeing so far. These guys really getting it sorted out early. We saw a lot of cautions last season in the Dover race that we ran during the playoffs, but so far so good. The real action up towards the front as Cole Martin bearing down on the 26. Landon Cardolo trying to get in the mix as well.
Oh, that was an interesting angle there for our top 2. Sorry, it completely caught me off guard seeing how low that both Cole Martin and Jacob Zala were getting into turn number 1. And they both make it work, though. That is not a line that you really want to be doing a whole lot, though, here at Dover.
Landon, let me go ahead and bring you back in down from pit road. You have done some running this week with all the series. It feels like you've run the trucks, the Xfinity cars, as well as the Cup, helping the Rev guys get ready. Can you fill us in on what a fuel run is going to be like tonight for the truck guys?
Fuel run, we run 70% fuel, of course, so we're probably going to look at about a 40 to 45. Maybe some guys even stretching it to a 50-lap run.
We might have a green run underway, but right now we have a battle underway for first. Cole Martin taking another peek to the inside of Jacob Zala. Obviously, that high line is going to be faster, but that's really going to chew those tires up on that 25 machine. So Jacob's got to get down just like that, and he's going to get the preferred line on the exit of 4. Now Cole Martin's going to have a mirror full of that 13 machine just behind him. We have a heck of a battle underway for these top 3 guys. Michael Madden going to try and catch up and get in the mix.
Yeah, and I think Madden, now that he's cleared of Jonathan Byer for 4th, I think Madden's going to start to really reel in this top 3. He's looked very comfortable, and he's really going to do it because we got a caution on the track, so we're going to get a line back up.
32 of Troy Techmeyer looks like he's got some damage to the rear end, to the right front as well. The 54 Jason Crackey looking like he was also involved. I have to imagine there might be 1 or 2 more that we are missing here yet. 42 of Kevin Winker, as this is such a narrow track. When there is a wreck, it is hard to avoid. So we're going to have our first Beer Street Journal wreck replay. Like we mentioned every week, please drink responsibly. Our producer Sean Griffith's going to get this pulled up, and we're going to see exactly what happened. We're following the 42 of Kevin Winker. And let's see when this happens here. There it is.
Way up front, just accordion. And this is and you see the recoil there with Kratky coming back down to the inside. And they always say Dover is a self-cleaning track. And by that, it's still banked on the straightaway by a pretty decent clip. And so because of that, the trucks want to start sliding down the hill. As you see this all the way at the front with Troy Techmeyer spinning and getting, not even spinning, just getting sideways coming into turn number 3, and everybody just checks up, and this track is so slick that it's really easy to just not be able to get there in time and get on the brakes as needed. And wow, it didn't even look like Techmeyer had any fault really in that one. Just truck on his outside, not sure who that was, got a little bit loose and got into him. It was Bruce Amston. And yeah, that's a tough situation for the 32. Makes a nice recovery though. But I think the ones that are really going to be hurt in that were a full straightaway behind.
And we're going to see this a lot tonight because these exits of each turns 2 and 4 are so strange compared to other tracks. There's almost that little hill that kind of unloads your truck and will send you up into the wall if you're not too careful and you just give it too much gas. It will completely unload your truck, which is what I think we just saw there. Bruce Amston getting into the outside wall and coming down barely into the 32 of Troy Techmeyer. So we're going to have some fast repairs getting used, and we're going to see if some guys are going to come down and get some tires, and we are not going to have too many come down. Not too much work for Landon Lacey right now.
Well, and let's remember this year we do have the tire limits that are in place with SRN, so we're going to be looking at 5 sets of tires available for each of these drivers. 12 laps in, you're only 10% of the way through. Not too surprising to not see anybody make that pit stop and get those tires just yet.
Yeah, and last year, Landon, that's something that we would have seen everybody come down this time by probably to get some tires. Am I right?
Yeah, I mean, I'm actually a little bit surprised we didn't see some of the guys in the back come down and take some tires because, I mean, like you said, we have 5 sets. 45 to 50 lap runs. I mean, you're only going to stop maybe 2 times if we go green. So, take advantage of the fresh tires. The tire fall off here is a little bit bigger than a lot of tracks that we go to. So I am really surprised we didn't see some guys pit there.
Yeah, we would have expected somebody to get off strategy, but nonetheless, everybody stays out except for those that were damaged. We have the lights off the pace car already, going to get quickly back to the action that we were seeing out there for this dodging Delaware 125 coming to lap 13 when we go green this time. See if Jacob Zala gets the same big jump he had last time, and he gets going, and Cole Martin gets a pretty good restart to the outside of him. He gets a little bit loose going through the gears. That's going to give the 51 the edge, maybe a little bit going into turn 1.
So easy to do that, just getting that little bit of wheel spin as you're going through the gears on this concrete surface. It makes it even easier, and if the tires get any more wear and we get more restarts with maybe about 20-30 laps, hopefully everybody would pit at that point, but once you get to that point, I think you're going to see it get even more severe and possibly see some trucks start spinning on that front stretch getting up to speed.
Crossovers in every turn so far. A little bit of a dicey moment there for our last season's champion, Cole Martin, as Jacob Zala washed up the last time through these turns. Cole's going to really send it down into 3, try to clear him on the exit of 4. He's going to have the lead all to himself. New leader tonight, Cole Martin. He has the lead here at the Dodging Delaware 125. Jacob Zala's going to have to be careful not to lose another spot to Landon Cardullo, who's having a great run tonight.
Yeah, Landon has been very, very fast week in and week out thus far. Very impressed with him. He's got similar runs to Jacob Zala at this point, where you can just see the speed and you can see the potential. And these 3 really pulling away quickly for Michael Madden and the rest of the field back.
Yeah, you see Michael Madden's got a fan down there. He's got his mom in the chat every week. We love having her out here saying, go 15. Michael Madden, Mom is proud of you. He is going to get it done tonight, in my opinion. I think he's just doing a great job of taking care of his stuff and really feeling out the track as it is right now. And right now, they're watching Cole Martin start to pull away to a 4/10 lead. And like I mentioned, Jacob Zala is going to be under attack here in a couple of laps from Landon Cardullo. He is right on his bumper.
Yeah, Landon looks like he's just waiting for the right opportunity. And this is a track where you really need to set up a pass, a turn early, get that at least half of a lap, sometimes a full lap, really, to set up a move. And now we're seeing it as Cardullo moves to the inside, going into 1 and 2. That is the prime position on this side of the track for sure, to be on that inside. And we're going to have a caution come out. And this is a big wreck in 1 and 2.
You saw there the 32 of Troy Techmeyer with another big hit. Probably going to end his night. There's another truck turned around back there. I'm not sure who that is. That is Jeremy Duncan out of Tank Racing. He has a ton of damage. He's going to have to really limp that truck back to pit lane. And we're going to have our second Beer Street Journal wreck replay of the night.
One thing we do know is that 32 of Troy Techmeyer is going to be in some danger, already being in the first caution. And wow, really going low there, trying to race each other. And wow, great job by Cody Riggs, but it's that follow through. And that's an amazing job by Duncan, keeping it up against the wall. You typically see everybody slide down. He kept it up there, and then it looked like everybody else was just running wide, thinking he was going to slide down. And it just kind of really, watch this from Troy Techmeyer's view, nowhere to go.
Yeah,
and just clips them.
This is easily just one of the hardest tracks to just, avoid any type of carnage that's being out there. We just saw the trucks going all over. We're going to take it on board with Cody Riggs, who did a fantastic job of getting through this. Let's see exactly how he did it. Wow, right in front of him, he slams on the brakes and barely gets by the 79 of Jeremy Duncan. But yeah, we have a few trucks coming down pit road this time, most of which are the ones that were involved. But unfortunately, that 32 is going to have some significant damage, already using his fast repair of the night. But Landon, can you speak on these exits and exactly how difficult it is to get off of these quickly without wrecking like they just did?
Yeah, I mean, like I've said before, this track is a lot different than most tracks that we go to. There's elevation change going into the corner, and there's also elevation change coming out of the corner, which tends to make the truck lighter on exit, which causes the truck to get loose, and you kind of have to catch the rear end. The best thing to do for these exits is to kind of counter steer. You kind of want to be turning a little bit to the right when you come off these corners to fend off that loose issue coming off. And you'll see a lot more of that tonight, I believe.
Yeah, it's very easy to just get into trouble when you're on the exit of these turns and, you're fighting the truck going down a straightaway, which is something we're not used to doing. But yeah, Brandon, you ran these trucks last year here at Dover, and we're seeing it here tonight. Just how hard is it for these guys getting around here right now while trying to keep up with the lead?
It's so difficult, and part of it is the track layout, and like Landon was just saying, it's such a unique track where not only do you have that heavy banking on the straightaway, but it's kind of inverted where you're going downhill into the turn as opposed to kind of going uphill, and I think it just throws people off, and you also get baited pretty easy because of the speed and the runs that you can get on other trucks near you, especially in the package that we have for these trucks where they're very momentum based, and I think it just kind of gets people thinking, I can make that move, and they really don't have the space to make it because of how narrow and tight this track is. So I think that's where we get into a lot of the troubles that we see. I was hoping that losing one of the faster pairs would maybe make people a little bit more cautious, and I think for the most part we do see that, but there's still a little bit of that aggressiveness that will get punished quickly here at Dover.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of tight racing here. We were going to go and take a look at this car. Want to give it a shout out because you see it there on the side. He's calling it the broadcaster's curse for Bobby Anderson's 18 machine, a beautiful pirate car. And, I'm a little partial to the pirate cars, that I ran at Kansas last week. So I love this paint. But Brandon, this is quite the funny paint we're seeing this week.
This is the equivalent of walking underneath a ladder, though, because you put a truck out there called Broadcaster's Curse. Of course we're going to show it and talk about it. So that's kind of putting the curse on yourself, I think, Bobby.
Well, I am now praying that he is not involved in the next caution. You know why? Because we're not going to have another caution, Brandon. These guys are going to get it sorted out, and we're going to get some great racing here for the Dodging Delaware 125. What do you think?
That's wishful thinking, I think.
Yeah, one of the tougher tracks on the circuit, but a lot of favorites here, and these guys love this track for the most part. But yeah, they're just, it's hard to pick up positions here, and we're seeing them do it so far with Cole Martin moving up from second up to first, Landon Cardolo up from third to second, and Michael Madden picking up 2 spots as well. Our biggest mover, or one of the biggest movers so far, is James Kerr in that 75 machine up to 18th. And Nathan Mann up to 16th from 22nd. But we're going to go back to green here. Cole Martin is going to have the field. The green is out. He gets a really good jump, leaving the guys in the dust. And you see Michael Madden, he's not happy with that. He wants to get past these guys. He sees Cole Martin just pulling away to an 0.8 of a second, moving to a 0.9 of a second lead.
Not sure what happened there, but everybody behind Cole Martin just caught sleeping on that restart, and it is not often you see a 1 second advantage within the first lap. Cole Martin with the absolute perfect moment there on that restart. We got one in the wall pretty hard, about 15th place back. Not sure who that was. That might have been Josh Mueller. I saw his name sliding down that list just a little bit.
Wasn't Bobby Anderson, because I would have said the curse is real. But yeah, you could just see how badly Michael Madden wants to get by these guys. They're starting to reel Cole Martin back into a little bit because, like you said, he did get out to a full second lead after one lap, back down to a half second. So he might just be easing it right now, letting these guys come back. Or Landon Cardolo is just running him down, which, not to take anything away from him, he has run great this season and shown it right here.
Yeah, I mean, this is just another outing for Landon that he's had the speed, and I'll just keep saying that because it's there. He has done a fantastic job this season and just really getting out there and making a name for himself in his first season here. And he's got his friend right behind him, Jacob Zala, in that third position. So it's kind of cool seeing some longtime friends there running in the top 3 and chasing each other down.
Some action back in the backstretch. I believe Jeremy Duncan, we got spinners on the backstretch right now. I believe that's Dave Hughes Jr. as well going slow there on the backstretch. Not exactly sure. We're going to find out exactly who it is, but you see right there, Jason Cracky involved, one of those guys that was involved in the last caution. But yeah, we're seeing a lot of the same from last year's Dover race. It's just chaos when it comes to these truck guys. Each of them very talented in their own right, but it's just such tight racing out here at Dover.
Yeah, and Kratky had a good run last season here at Dover, and definitely not having the luck tonight, as this is the second caution he's going to be involved in as we go to the Beer Street Journal Rec Replay for the third time. And that was very behind what happened originally. It looks like we had something happen, but everybody just scattered. And then it's in the follow-through as Bruce Amston kind of came down avoiding. Want to say that was Dave Hughes Jr. that was up against the wall.
No, Dave is running 12th right now, I believe.
No,
I believe
similar looking car.
I believe that started with Sean Kozier and Walt Lepicki.
Let's find out exactly what happened here, because they had some chaos going on the backstretch. We're trying to find out exactly who that slow truck was up on the wall that kind of made everybody scatter, ultimately coming out with this third caution of the night. But yeah, not going to be Sean Kozier. I think it was behind us even further. We are scrambling in our booth to figure out exactly who it was. We see the 63 of Bruce Amston up there. Not exactly sure. You can't see that number very clearly. There it is, the 90 of Corey Knight. That's who it was. He was doing his part and staying up in the wall as he got into it big time. It looked like Walt Lepicki might have turned him a little bit there. Let's see, find exactly what happened here. Walt Lepicki gets loose, coming down into the 90, sending him up to the wall. The 90 doing a great job of staying up high, but then everybody's scattering. See the 63 come down. That's when he collects Jason Cracky and puts out this caution.
Just a whole lot of unfortunate moments for a handful of drivers in that one. Corey Knight actually did a fantastic job of getting onto the apron and kind of sticking that run onto the apron to try to avoid Walt Lepicki as he was losing control of that truck, and he just happened to come down at the wrong place at the wrong time for Corey. And then with Bruce Amston and Jason Kratky, it was just Amston trying to get away from that truck, that 90 truck of Corey Knight, and just ran right into Jason Kratky again. Wrong place, wrong time. That is the story of the night thus far here with these three cautions early at Dover.
I was still shocked to see that our top 19, top 20, not going down pit road yet to use that first set of tires, Landon.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a little bit surprised as well. You know, I know. You know, we haven't had very long green flag runs, but these tires still do fall off quite a bit. I don't know. I haven't really checked out lap times lately. I don't know what the fall off is, but I'm telling you, if some of these guys in the back would come down and take fresh tires, it would probably help them. The only reason I say that they're probably not is because we're having these cautions primarily in the back, so they're probably just trying to stay out of trouble.
It's a good point. You know, you don't want to go to the back of the pack where, you know, some of these incidents are happening, potentially putting yourself in trouble. So that might be exactly what we're seeing. Thanks, Landon, for the input. But right now, let's go through our top 10 really quick before we go back to green here. The pace car lights off. Cole Martin's going to be first. Landon Cardullo is going to be second. Jacob Zala, our pole sitter, is going to be third. Michael Madden going to be fourth, with Blair Holloman rounding out the top five, Brandon.
Yeah, and then sixth place will be my pick for tonight, Jonathan Byer in that 66 truck. Ed Shearer, last week's winner, will be in seventh. Kyle Wimble will be in the eighth position. Andrew Harris in ninth. And then we'll have Matt Johnson in the 10th position.
I want to give a big shout out to 19th place right now, Michael Minty. He's up 14 positions, started 33rd, already avoiding this chaos. Sitting in 20th, excuse me, our scoring pylon is not updating correctly as they were ahead of Cody Riggs before that line. But yeah, he's moved up 13 spots. A great race by Amenti so far, but a great race by a lot of these guys up front right now. Expect to see a lot of the same as Cole Martin's going to try and make that gap happen again. They got on the last restart, and he does it again. Cole Martin is an expert at the restart here tonight at Dover.
Man, I think it's just him. He's comfortable being aggressive on these worn tires, getting up to speed and through the gears. And I don't know if anybody else really has that confidence, at least around him, in second and third with Cardullo and Zala. And it's just really opened up these big leads right away for Cole Martin.
almost wonder if it's something like he's starting in first with the rest of the field not too comfortable starting in first, and he just really gets the extra gear out of it and gets off to a big jump. But nonetheless, like we saw last time, Landon Cardullo starting to run him down, only 0.4 of a second back. He is making that 13 machine real fast tonight.
Yeah, I mean, we have not seen a whole lot of position trading here within the top 4. We saw Cardullo take that second position away from Zala. Madden got into that top 4 around 10 laps in, and ever since then, we've just seen the same line of 4 trucks since about the last 20 laps or so.
Sure, up to 6th. He's having a good run tonight. Matt Johnson making his way up to the top 10 so far as we just see him fall back out. He's got a battle right now with Kyle Wimple out of Jonathan Byer Motorsports. So they are running really hard tonight. Nathan Mon up from 22nd. He is trying to make his way into the top 10 after having a great run last week at Kansas.
And yet, here we go again. Cole Martin starting to get reeled back in, actually, by Landon Cardullo, who has made up about a 1/10 of a second a lap the last couple laps since we went green after that big restart. So I think that 13 truck's got a great amount of long-term speed on these runs. And we're not seeing the tire fall off that I expected either for either of these 2 drivers up in front. They're only losing maybe about a 0.5 a lap, which is actually absolutely incredible. And what a Andrew Harris, Nathan Mon is going to get caught up behind it. They're still going to keep it straight.
Yeah, what a great save. Unfortunately for Nathan Mon, he's going to have some significant damage, and he is going to be limping around this track. He's going to be praying that a caution comes out. Look at how damaged that 21 machine is after we just mentioned the great gains that he's had on the night so far. He is just dropping back like a rock. Evan Scott getting into, we're going to have a caution here, potentially. Some great saves out here on the track right now. They are doing their best to keep it green. We got some damaged trucks all over this track, Brandon.
And you know, this is, some people argue it's a short track. Some people say it's not a short track, being a 1 mile one. It's right on the verge either way. But one thing I do know is that aerodynamics is a big factor when it comes to how you run at Dover. You get that damage, that will affect the handling in a big way. It ain't like Bristol or Martinsville where you can kind of get away with it a little bit.
One of the new contenders to the series this year, making some big gains. Ed Shearer is making his way up through the field. He's already up to 5th. Last week's winner, Kansas teammate to Cole Martin. He's going to be starting to work on Michael Madden if he can get to that bumper. Michael Madden looking to get on Jacob Zala's bumper. We're going to have a nice battle for 3rd here shaping up in the next couple of laps.
And this feels a lot like last week, too, where Ed Shearer just continuously moving forward at a nice little pace here, and it's given him some good gains as he moves into the top 5 for the first time tonight.
Tough choice, Landon, as we just saw Nathan Mon coming down pit road. That's going to really put him back with a lengthy pit stop here in the short 20-second laps. He's going to be a couple laps down, am I right?
Yeah, I think the main problem is that he ran into the back of, I don't know who hit the wall in front of him, but he ran into the back of him. I believe he might have motor damage as well.
He is trying to avoid overheating and blowing that engine and really ruining his day. He's going to come down, get that fast repair, try to get back out there, but already 2 laps down. He's going to go at least 3 or 4 laps down and really be behind the 8 ball, unfortunately for him, after a great Kansas week last week. So it is all in Cole Martin's hands here. We got a nice little green flag run going on right here. Landon Cardullo just a 0.5 second behind, and then Jacob Zala is going to be a 1.5 seconds behind them, so they are starting to separate themselves from the lead.
Wow. And this is, wow, great move there by the 28. That's Clint Hackett that decided to back out of that one as he was the meat in the sandwich going 3 wide, and in 1 and 2, that is absolutely impossible to pull off. I would say 99% of the time that will not work. So that was a good decision there. Just back out of that. Got a long way to go.
Some of our damaged trucks that we're seeing. Ed Shearer picking up that spot on Michael Madden, moving up to 4th. Michael Madden back to 5th. Blair Holloman's going to be bearing down on Michael Madden here shortly. I think a lot of these guys are going to be wanting what I was mentioning earlier, those fresh tires here shortly.
Yeah, and looking at the lap times here for Cole Martin, that drop-off is starting to hit pretty heavy. The the last 6-7 laps, he has lost about a tenth of a second. So he was able to hang on to that pace for quite some time, a lot longer than I anticipated. So we got a move for third here with Ed Shearer looking to the inside of Jacob Zala. They're going to be very tight in a very tricky spot to be doing that, but they're both going to pull that off, and it is still going to be side by side for a second sequence of turns.
Yeah, I was really worried the 25 was going to wash up into the wall right there, ultimately taking them both out. But great job by these drivers for hashing that out and not getting anybody else involved in it. So Edward Scherer already up to third, and I think Cole Martin is going to have his hands full with his teammate this year. That 2 truck is strong early on in the season, but 51, we have a caution on the track. Our fourth caution of the night. Andrew Harris out of 13-fold Sim Racing is going to park it there. He's going to try and come down and avoid anybody else hitting him. I've imagined that we have a few trucks involved in this one. Clint Hackett there, as well as Walt Lipicki, and I'm not sure who that is. That Techmeyer down there in the silver machine, and then Brian Crocker there in the 86, just to name a few.
Yeah, I think I saw about 7 or 8 trucks involved in this one, going through 3 and 4, and it was just a log jam effect where one got sideways and pretty much blocked the entire track. As we'll take a look here at our 4th Beer Street Journal Rec replay of the night, as we watch that 87 13-fold sim racing truck for Andrew Harris, and I think at this point, so he just... not a lot of spaces. They were both going for the same spot. He gets sideways, gets into the 28, and then they just all log jam right behind him. And you're going to see a lot of trucks get caught up here. And Walt Lipicki almost getting in it, just going 1 mile an hour. Good job avoiding that one there, but a lot of trucks here in this one.
That's some big damage there for the 87. Let's go on board with the 98 here, trying to back it down here. He's going to a complete stop, but still gets some contact as he gets into the 86 of Brian Crocker. Both of them are going to be okay, though. I think the crew will be able to fix that without using the fast repair. But, yeah, unfortunately for Troy Techmeyer, he is just having no luck tonight at Dover International Speedway. That is just the tough thing about this track. There is nowhere to go. You are not safe when you see these guys wrecking.
Unreal, the bad luck that Troy Techmeyer's had tonight. That's the 3rd time we've seen him pick up some damage in an accident here, and I think that chrome, it's just catching all the bad luck tonight in that Nebraska Cornhuskers paint scheme. But yeah, our 4th caution of the night. We had a pretty good run there, and now I think pit stops are going to be kind of playing the factor here in this one now.
We have them on pit road right now. Walt Lipicki did not pit this time through, but you see just how damaged that truck is. He might want to reconsider, get some repairs on that truck, but he's not showing any signs of coming down. He wants to get a lap back. He's on the lead lap. So, yeah, not exactly sure what's going on here, but, yeah, after pit stops, not much change. Cole Martin, here he comes down this time. So Cole Martin will take over the lead as he had it before. Landon Cardolo going to be just behind him with Ed Scherer. It's going to be right on their heels now. Ed running a great race so far.
A little interested at what happened here with Michael Madden, who's going to be all the way back in 10th after this pit stop. Not sure if he missed his pit spot or just had a little bit of a tough time, or maybe had some damage that he wanted to get repaired there. Okay, and just hearing from our producer, 5 seconds of damage repair, so that does make sense why he lost those spots. It definitely caught me off guard because I didn't recall him actually having any moment there.
That could have put him in trouble. Yeah, he might have pancaked the wall, it looks like, on the right side of his truck. Got some scrapes up there. So that'll do it, man. It doesn't take much here at Dover. Just overstep a little bit, and you're going to be having some damage. Am I right, Landon?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, another point I like to make about the exit of these corners, when you come off the corners, the track will actually throw you up the racetrack. So you kind of want to make sure you exit the corner just a little bit lower than you typically would, just to counteract that the track wanting to throw you up towards the wall.
Well, there you have it. We're going to have Cole Martin take the outside lane potentially here on the restart, or he just might be trying to get back by the 13 of Landon Cardullo. But a great race so far by last season's champion with 7 wins in SRN. Are we really surprised, Brandon?
No. I think it's only a matter of time before he gets that first win of the season. And honestly, I thought he was about to take the outside, and that actually wouldn't have surprised me a whole lot on this first lap, just not getting that tight turn on the cold tires on this concrete. It's not for everybody, but it wouldn't surprise me to see a leader actually want to start on the outside at some point today.
Considering the jumps that he's had on the restarts, I'm not surprised one bit. He has been killing it on the inside line. I expect him to do the same. I'm not sure he's going to be counting down that 2 machine because that 2 machine has every bit of power to get by the 51, so he's going to need to get some car lengths on Edward Scherer. We're going to see exactly what happens, and if he does count him down, we'll know it because he will clear the 13 easily. Heading into turn 3, we're going to see that pace car peel off going down pit road, and the field will be in Cole Martin's hands in that 51 Sandwich Man Racing Sports Memorabilia Chevy Silverado. Landon Cardullo just to his outside. He's had some great restarts. Let's see if he can do it again, and he gets a great jump, catches the 13 sleeping again. The 2 is going to have a really good look to the inside of the 13 machine to clear him here heading into 1. He's going to do that. We have Roel Motorsports in our top 2, followed by Landon Cardullo, Jacob Zala, and Jonathan Byard.
I feel like there's a little part of Cole Martin that's thinking, all right, help the teammate out, got the good jump, got him to go through that door on the inside of the 13, but at the same time, the other half of Cole Martin's thinking, oh man, I really wanted somebody to run a little interference ahead of my teammate there, because that 2 truck is on a tear in the past 25, 30 laps.
Absolutely. We see him get a nice little jump on him. We got a race here between Blair Holloman and Dave Hughes Jr. Blair's going to get that spot. Dave's going to fall in line behind him with Lucas Lyons now under attack from the 88 of Joseph DuPont. Want to give him a shout out. Joseph having a great start to his truck season here down in the SRN trucks for do-gooders. He's running in the top 10 currently in that beautiful 88 machine.
Had a pretty solid run for him tonight too. Started 20th. Has picked up 11 spots to get to that 9th position. One of the bigger movers of the race thus far. And it looks like our biggest mover actually is back in the 16th position. That's going to be Rob Yost. Just saw him get a little bit of caught up there in that last caution, but pretty gingerly at most. He's made up 18 spots, going from 34th up to that 16th position.
He's making a charge to the front, which is kind of what you want to do to stay out of this chaos. Blair Holloman under attack from Lucas Lyons now. Lucas taking the high side, trying to get that momentum off the turns. He's going to have a really full head of steam heading down into turn 1 to see if he sends it in there. Not going to have the bumper to his rear quarter. Blair's going to be clear on all sides. He's going to move back up to the high side here and get a good run off of 2.
And that run's going to go a long way for Blair as you see him go around the 66 of Jonathan Byer. And that run, I mean, like I was saying earlier, you really try to set up your pass a turn before. And if you get that great run off of 2 and you can get that nose to the inside, you got a great shot at completing that pass on 3 and 4. Just because you really don't want to be on the high side coming out of turn 4, just with how much it wants to jump out from you.
On-board ride with Sean Kozier out of Rev Racing. Back there in the Hornet's Nest, getting passed by Bobby Anderson and the broadcaster's curse 18. Sean dropping back to 27th. He's going to have some cars really looking to get by him as James Kerr looks to the inside. But right now, Ed Scherer is starting to close the gap on our leader, Cole Martin, down to 3.5 tenths and closing. Landon Cardullo not far behind either, about the equal gap. Back to him, and the same back to Zala. So that's our top 4.
I'm starting to notice the trend here where that 51 gets that big jump right out of the gate on these restarts, picking up nearly a 1-second lead each time, not a full second, and then just kind of takes it easy and conserves those tires. But he is blinking big time on the track, so there might be some server issues, and that's something to definitely be worried about here, as we do have the blinking policy in place for these drivers, where if it becomes too much of a problem, they'll ask you to pull it off the track.
It's a big problem right now for the 51 machine. He's going to have to do his best to get that cleared up right now. Looking like it is clearing up, but that is very stressful for the drivers behind him because it kind of just distracts you from running your line. You see a car blinking in and out. You don't know if it's going to show up right in front of you, if they're going to hit the wall and be wrecking right in front of you. Granted, it's Cole Martin, so, he shouldn't have that problem, but you just don't know here.
Yeah, I mean, and we saw it happen last week too at Kansas. We saw a wreck on our Sunday night race for the Cup guys that was heavily influenced by the blinking, where somebody just didn't know where one car was and the other car didn't know where the other was because of the connection issues. So it's not impossible to imagine that happening, where somebody blinks and suddenly loses control and it causes an accident because of it.
Yeah, our scoring pylon is picking up that blinking, as you just saw Cardullo just drop out of the standings, and then he just appeared again. So yeah, there must be something with the iRacing servers potentially right now going on. So hopefully none of these guys get any trouble from that. But it hopefully is going to resolve itself here within the next couple laps, because we have quite a nice little run going on here, a nice 15-lap green flag run. And we mentioned earlier it's about a 50-lap fuel run, so if they can get it going, get it sorted out, get a little bit spaced out, we might have the potential for green flag pit stops right here. But want to give a shout out to Dave Hughes Jr., who has moved his way diligently up into the top 5.
A very solid run for him, gaining 9 spots since the beginning as he started in that 14th spot. He's actually been one of the faster drivers out here since we had this restart, so I expect him to start closing that gap towards Jacob Zala for 4th here pretty soon.
Fast lap on the track so far in this race, going to the leader, Cole Martin, with a 22.5. And that is exactly what you need to do to get out to the front. We got a nice little battle back here. Kyle Wimble in the fiber machine. He's going to get the spot from Michael Amenti. But look how just jumbled up these guys are right now. It is tight racing back here. Rob Yost just in front of them. He was involved in that last incident, having a nice bounce back for his race tonight. Kyle Wimble going to go to his inside.
And congrats to Kyle, new sponsorship there on that truck with Fiverr. Always like seeing how many of the drivers here in SRN picking up sponsorships. Just a whole new world here with sim racing and iRacing, where we're getting actual sponsors on these trucks, and just a great showing for these drivers that have really worked hard.
We couldn't do it without our viewers, paying attention each week, tuning in to our races, because that's what the sponsors want to see. They want to see fans in the stands, per se, and they see our chat blowing up all the time. We appreciate you guys tuning in. We got quite the race underway right now. Lap traffic in front of our leader, Andrew Harris, is going to be just in front of his former teammate, the 51 of Cole Martin. Cole Martin's going to have to really try to get by him, otherwise Ted Schur is going to really suck up to his bumper.
Yeah, that's a rough situation here for Cole Martin, and there's not really a whole lot that Andrew Harris can do. I mean, he can try to keep it on the inside if he wants to get out of the way, but at the same time, he's wanting to stay on the lap that he's currently on, as he is the last car on the lead lap, or last truck on the lead lap, so he does not want to lose that lap. He's going to try to hold him off as much as he can, but you can see the rest of that top 5 starting to close in. Dave Hughes picking up a 2nd in the last handful of laps on the leader, Cole Martin.
They are coming in a hurry, so Cole is going to have to really make quick work of this, but unable to do so. Andrew Harris having a great run to keep that lead lap position. But yeah, Ed Schur is watching this and just being patient about everything taking place right now. Cole Martin not wanting to be patient. He wants to get by this 87 machine, so we are going to pay close attention to this. But yeah, we are shaping up for a nice little run here, up to 23 laps on this set of tires. So we're starting to see that fall off take place as Jacob Zala is starting to take a look to the inside of Landon Cardullo in that 13 Toyota Tundra. Dave Hughes Jr. wanting to get in on the mix as well.
And our top 5, it would not surprise me if any of them winds up taking home the checkered flag tonight, because we have seen all of them just show very consistent pace around this monster mile and have made it look very smooth thus far. And we're seeing a great battle right now for 3rd and 4th. Dave Hughes kind of backing up just a little bit, thinking, you know what, they're very tight. Something might happen here. And we go back to the front as Cole Martin, I think he's starting to get a little impatient here with his former teammate in that 87.
Yeah, he is going to be moving him out of the way here in the next turn potentially. You saw him get right up on the bumper, try to get him loose. But it's going to be really hard to do that because he's going to have another former teammate in the 86 of Brian Crocker up on the high side. He's going to have to really get out of the gas to not wash up too much. Gets by the 86 nice and easily. The Edward Schur machine gets by him as well. All our leaders making easy work of Brian Crocker, but right now, not easy work is Andrew Harris. He does not want to go a lap down.
I thought that was Jacob Zala getting in the wall. That was actually a similar style truck with Brian Crocker that caught the wall coming out of turn 4. Caught my attention there for a second, but also catching my attention, we've got about a 1 second gap from 1st to 5th as this continues to be a very hotly contested, not even position, just lead lap containment for Andrew Harris as Cardullo got into the wall. You see the damage there on the right side, and that might allow Dave Hughes Jr. to get a run here coming out of turn 2.
Big damage. Look at that. Landon, that's going to slow him down big time.
Yeah, I mean he's hit it quite a good bit. I mean, you'll sometimes see some guys scrub against the wall, and sometimes it won't hurt them, but damaging that right front really hurts the handling on these trucks.
He does not get a caution in the near future. He is going to be dropping like a rock. Jonathan Byer taking an early pit stop, only 28 laps on this set of tires. He is coming down for a short pit. He's got some right front damage as well.
Yeah, great.
He definitely caught the wall.
Another blinker there causing
Cole
our cameras.
Martin actually blinked out.
Oh, wow. Not sure what happened to Cole Martin, but he is not reappearing. There he is. He's flashing. They are going to have to really get that sorted out. Otherwise, he is going to cause some trouble out here on the track. Right now, Edward Scher trying to keep some distance between him and Cole just to not reappear and back inside of his truck and cause his race to go south. But right now, that's got to be distracting Andrew Harris, too, who's trying his hardest to keep that lap. Right now, you see Cole Martin really on his bumper. And here we're going to go back to this battle for 10th. David Miller making a move on Joseph DuPont. He's going to try and clear him right here. Not able to do so. They're going to be 2 by 2 heading into turn 3.
This is a very tough racing here between Andrew Harris and Cole Martin. And Martin blinking out again, and one thing I wanted to make sure was it wasn't just the view that we have. I pulled up Cole's line on my iRacing screen as well. He blinked out on that one as well, so it is definitely an issue. As the 13 Olenik Cardullo hard into the wall coming out of turn 4.
Yeah, I'm showing 23 blinks so far in this race for the 51. So that is something that definitely needs to be addressed. But right now, Ed Scherer might address it himself, taking a look to the inside. Not going to be able to do it this time. And Cole is definitely just pleading with the 87 to let him by. He has these leaders catching back up to him in a hurry. It gets real tight off of 4. That's going to give the 2 momentum heading into 1. We got a new leader at the Dodging Delaware 125. Last week's winner, Ed Scherer.
And what patience that he showed, and a little bit of bravery there with as much as that 51 has blinked out, and not patience this time as he goes right onto the back bumper of that 87 saying, all right, you had your fun, now there's a new person here, I'm moving you out of the way.
It's a look to the inside. He's going to fly right on by that 87. Andrew Harris going to fall a lap down after he fought so hard for the last 10 laps. And now Cole Martin going to go by him. Like, come on, dude. Oh, no. He made contact. It's a little loose. Andrew Harris going to hang on to it. Really tight racing up here, and Cole Martin is super tight. You can see him on the exit of 4 there just washing up to the wall. I have a feeling he used those tires up really bad trying to get by that 87.
Wow, that was a dicey moment, and a lot of radio chatter going on right now about that situation there with Andrew Harris and Cole Martin. Not sure if any action is going to be taken at this time, but it is definitely on the radar. But on our radar is Ed Scherer pulling away in a hurry, already more than a half second up on Cole Martin, as we're nearing 40 laps into this run already.
Yeah, curious to see just how much Jonathan Byer gains from making that short pit stop. That was rather short, but, he made it to the window to make it to the end. Am I right, Landon?
Yeah, you can definitely make it from here if you pit right here.
There you have it. He can potentially make a race-winning move if things work out. We stay green here. He's going to gain a lot of time on this field. Granted, when the rest of the trucks we have a caution, just as I jinx it. We are under our 5th caution of the night. We see Walt Lepicki back there. Somebody just blew up as well. Find out exactly who else was involved. here, and it might have been Sean Kozier in the 97, seeing him already on pit road, so he must have towed with some significant damage. We're going to find out exactly what happened here on the Beer Street Journal Rec Replay. Please drink responsibly. See the 97 here. It's going to get a big head of steam heading into Walton Pickey, and Andrew Harris trying to make a move in the middle there, catches all of them and sends Sean Kozier into the stands. And unfortunately for him, that will reset his truck, resulting in a tow, and that will gain or cost him some time as well on pit road. But yeah, just a really aggressive move by Andrew Harris here. And he's going to just really cost 3 cars the race with that move in the middle of the lane.
Yeah, and you know what? Already kind of being on the radar there for race control. Not really the position you want to be in. I see what he's going for, but I'm not quite sure that was the right spot to be doing that. But one thing that we do have here is pit stops for our leaders, and to kind of follow up on what we were talking about earlier, that early pit stop for the 66 of Jonathan Byer, obviously that will not work at this point, as he's going to be trapped 2 laps down.
That's the risk you take when you go short pit like that, especially at a track like Dover, only 1 mile in length. You're going to go a couple laps down when you head into this pit road. And not only that, Landon, this pit road is 35-mile-an-hour speed limit.
Yeah, I'm surprised. I don't know if we've had anybody get caught for speeding tonight, but it is very, very easy to get caught speeding on this pit road because it is so much slower than what you're used to at other racetracks. Mostly you see 40, 45, some places 50 to 55, and this is definitely one of the slower pit roads on the circuit.
Definitely. That was one of the things that Michael Madden, one of our teammates, said costed him the race last year, was speeding on pit road during a green flag pit stop, and that is all it takes. It's so easy to do here. 35 is like crawling when you're in a race car, Brandon.
Yeah, it's a weird feeling going from, at times you can get around that 170 a little bit faster than that getting around this track, and all of a sudden you're going 35 and you can see the cars going by you on the racetrack when they're going green flag. It's a weird feeling around here with as slow as that pit road is.
All sorts of shuffling taking place. Let's go ahead and give a rundown of our top 10 as they get this field sorted out. Pace car lights still on, so we got some time to do so. And leading the way, able to get by his teammate during that last cycle of green flag run, it's going to be Ed Scher, last week's winner, out front, followed by last season's champion, Cole Martin, who's had a great race so far in the 51 machine, just had a tough time getting by Andrew Harris. Third's going to be Landon Cardulo, a nice rebound after pancaking the wall. Curious to see if he got that damage fixed. Fourth going to be Dave Hughes Jr. in the 16 machine, as well as the 5th place car being the 26 machine of Josh Mueller.
Josh Mueller rounding out that top 5. Michael Madden, your pick tonight there, Greg, sitting in the 6th position. Landon, your pick, Lucas Lyons, will be in the 7th spot. One of the big movers of this race in 8th is going to be Joseph DuPont, gained 12 spots thus far from his 20th starting position. Blair Holloman is going to be in 9th. David Miller will be rounding out the top 10.
Nice to see some new names making their way up the standings. Some big movers so far, some big fallers as well. Michael Amenti up 20 positions. He's up to 13th, as well as Jack Johnson. He's up 13 positions, sitting in 16th. So a great race by a lot of these guys. Rob Yost up 15 positions, up from 34th to 19th. So still working diligently to make their way up, but running out of time to do so. We're going to near 35 laps to go. Pace car lights are off, and they are 2x2 getting ready to get this thing back to green.
And this is going to be the first time we're going to see Shearer not just in the lead position on a restart, but on the front row. So curious to see what his strategy is going to be here, as he's going to be the one in charge of this restart.
Yeah, we'll see if he's able to get one of those Cole Martin restarts. We did get confirmation from our pit reporter, Landon Lacey, that he was restarting in first when on the pole or on the point, to have the field in his hands. So we'll see if Shearer does the same thing. You see Cole Martin blink out again, but we are back green. I don't think the two was starting at first, as Cole Martin did a great job to keep up with him. He's going to be side by side heading to the stripe.
And that's really risk reward. You can start in first and it can work great, but it's also very easy on cold tires to want those tires to get around on you and just get you turned. And so if you're not comfortable in it, obviously just start it in second. It's a little bit slower, but you're going to be safer and getting up to speed.
Cardulo not wasting any time to make a move on Cole Martin. He's going to be trying to take over the second position, and Ed Sure is going to be, we are back under yellow again for our sixth caution. Sounds like it's going to be Cody Riggs involved this time, trying to see who else, but looks like it's just him parked there on the front in that long MacArthur Sparkle and Shine Ford F-150.
Man, he did such a great job of avoiding, I believe it was our second caution tonight, maybe third, but unable to avoid it this time here on our sixth of the night. Beer Street Journal Rec Replay. So again, please drink responsibly, and is right out of turn 4 and nobody really around him. I'm guessing he just got loose, and that's exactly what happened. Just real easy to do, especially on fresh tires. They're cold. The air just hasn't really made that build up. You haven't gotten the grip in those tires like you want them just yet. And super easy, because that truck gets very, very light coming out of these turns, especially turn 4. It feels like it gets a little bit even more light and wants to turn around.
Job by him not, coming back up into the field, locks the tires down, but unfortunately going to have to use a faster pair. I believe he should still have one left. Cole Martin, Landon, is coming down pit road this time. He's getting a little bit of right front damage, it looks like.
Yeah, I saw him there right before that caution came out coming off turn 4. He slapped the wall a good bit, so it's probably a good call under caution to come on down and repair that.
Yeah, so easy to lose a lot of speed. Yeah, he definitely pancaked the wall hard. Look at that damage. We'll see it here when he stops in his stall. It will magically fix itself, and you will see it right there. That faster pair has been used. With 30 laps to go, he has to keep that truck clean if he wants to come away with a good finish. He's going to have a lot of work to do as well, as he's going to be way back in the field.
Yeah, he'll be restarting, I believe, in the 23rd, maybe 22nd position, depending how it's going to play out with Cody Riggs or if anybody else pitted. But he's going to be back, I do believe it's going to be in the 21st spot. But that is a lot of traffic to work your way through in 30 laps around a very narrow and difficult track to be passing trucks on.
Yeah, he's going to have to reset and take a new mindset, I guess. And, the wind might be out the window now, but just looking to get those points. But let's go ahead and bring up a newcomer to the Truck Series this week. We're going to go ahead and try and bring up Dave Hughes Jr. out of Zuyos Racing in that 16 machine. Dave Hughes, it is Greg Olenik and Brandon Domingue in the booth. How's your race looking, bud? Running third so far.
Yeah, just patience, picking them off when you can get them, being smooth on the throttle and saving the tires, and Lady Luck's been with me, so I'm right where I need to be right now with about 30 to go. So we'll see how it shakes out.
Yeah, one thing we've noticed a lot is there's been a mixed bag for a lot of drivers when it comes to these restarts. How you finding the grip and just being able to get up to speed on these restarts with some fast jumps that we're seeing out of the lead pack?
It is difficult because we're kind of hung between gears. I tried a first gear restart earlier. I didn't do as well, so I've just been sticking to a second gear restart and just trying to time it good. But if you don't time it, you're going to get pulled pretty good. So it's a tough gear to be in for the restarts for sure.
Well, you're going to have a nice view of the lead when we get back to green here. Great run so far. We started 14th, up 11 positions. Good luck. Bring that Diamond Motors Chevy Silverado maybe home in a podium position. We'll be talking to you maybe tonight.
That sounds good. I appreciate it, guys.
All right, take care. Well, there you have it. Our third place runner tonight, Dave Hughes Jr., down from the Cup Series, running really well with these truck guys. Nathan Mon getting back on the lead lap. That is incredible considering how many laps he went down. He pitted during green, Brandon.
Yeah, he was down a couple laps, and just the way that it sequenced out and being able to stay out on that last caution when everybody pitted, I do believe, is one of the big ways that he got up there. And yeah, he was stayed out an extra lap there, so able to work his way around with these pit strategies and build himself back up there. And that's something that you want to see from somebody at the top of the point standings, even though it's early, really protecting those points as best as he can and trying to make the most out of it after getting caught up in that earlier wreck.
Well, these 30 laps are gonna fly by. These guys know this race is coming to the end. We are going to see an absolute battle for the win here at the Dodging Delaware 125, but the man on point right now, Edward Shearer, he's got some heavy hitters there behind him. Landon Cardulo running a great race so far. Dave Hughes Jr., we just spoke to him. Josh Mueller in fourth. Michael Madden's going to be fifth. And Lucas Lyons, your pick, going to be sixth as the pace car peels off down pit road for our sixth restart of the night. Ed Shearer gets a nice little jump on Landon Cardulo. Dave Hughes Jr. going to be to his inside, though.
And we're seeing how much the inside line is really coming to work on these restarts, because that's the second consecutive one where the driver that's third goes right around. And we got some little bit of contact again. Contact coming out of turn 2 down the back straightaway. Great side-by-side racing. And it looks like Dave Hughes is going to pull off that move. And there he goes to second position as he clears that 13.
Sworn that 13 hit the wall there, but his truck looks clean. I don't think he did, and he has fallen back to third. Dave Hughes Jr. now has his eyes set on Shearer. Sounds like we got some wrecking going on here. No, they are still going straight as Michael Madden working on the 26 of Josh Mueller. Ooh, and he gets into him a little bit. As you see, the right side of that 15 is all smashed up.
Man, and in the process, I'll go with the old school NASCAR on Fox moment. Where did Michael Madden come from all of a sudden? It wasn't long ago we were talking about him being outside the top 10 and having some damage getting repaired, and here he is, just pops up in fourth place very quickly, and all of a sudden he's becoming a factor once again.
Yeah, he has been licking his chops. Big wreck down the front stretch. This is going to catch a lot of people. Cole Martin right there. Cole Martin's going to be able to get through it. Josh Mueller, who was running in the top 5, he is
still
involved in
wrecking.
this. Jeremy Duncan, the 90 of Corey Knight back there. Not sure who this truck is. Might be Blair Holloman there turned around. No, Blair is still running 7th.
Matt Johnson.
Matt Johnson. All right, well, that is exactly what you do not want to see. Wrecking on the front stretch. These walls are so narrow, there is not much room to get through it, but it looked like one of those guys that was mired back in the pack, Cole Martin, did get through it. We will have to find out for sure on this Beer Street Journal wreck replay.
Yeah, and this is what you always fear at Dover, and it is a mainstay, whether it be here in sim racing or in real life, as that 26 of Josh Mueller gets turned, and it's that self-cleaning track moment as he comes down that straightaway when they get to the banking, and everybody else is just right there in the path, and you see everybody behind him getting affected in some way. I would say about 80% of the field from Mueller on back all caught up in this one.
See if we can take another look. Michael York definitely getting into his rear bumper, getting him loose, turning him around, and just causing a whole lot of chaos. Blair Holloman did get a little piece of it. A lot of our lead cars had to get checked up and got a little bit of damage here. See if we can go on board with the 51 of Cole Martin. He did a great job of getting through this as we just saw him come down pit road, really putting him in the back of the pack after leading a lot of this race, trying to find him out there on the track. Here he is. We're going to see how he does this on his inboard cockpit cam, and we're going to see that chaos start unfolding right in front of him. He's going to come around this turn, see them get turned around, and that is the scariest sight. He woes it up big time. They're still wrecking. Oh, wow, and the Matt Johnson machine just stopped just in time, and he gets through it.
Yeah, Cole Martin thanking that banking on the front stretch at that point, and also give a shout out there to Jack Johnson in the 35. He was just ahead of Cole Martin. Also did a great job kind of threading the needle there. And oh, by the way, Cole Martin 21st on that last restart, and you see him getting through that wreck and moves all the way back up to 9th.
6-lap fresher tires than these leaders too, so I mean it's not going to be much as far as the grid fall off, but still fresher tires nonetheless. Cole Martin is back to being a contender for tonight's win. Ed Shearer better take notice of that. His teammate is coming, but we got some more people coming down pit road this time, a lot of which were involved in that last wreck. Bobby Anderson has some damage on the right side. Cracky has been involved in a few wrecks tonight. We have some trucks down pit road. The 23 of Michael York there. I believe that's the 79 of Jeremy Duncan behind him. Sean Kozier coming in. The 224 of Cody Riggs also coming in. So about half the field coming down pit road that time.
Yeah, and with the amount of damage that we saw picked up in that accident, and even if you didn't get body damage, you were slamming on the brakes. If you had any extra tires left, it might as well come in and just kind of get the fresh tires, get the wear away from what you were just on, and just see what you can make out of the rest of this thing. I'm going to have a good gut feeling that we're not done tonight.
We're going to go ahead and give a shout out here while we were under pace laps to the 64 machine of Walt Lipicki. He is in the top 10. He's had a rough race, as you can tell by his truck there in the Healthcare Billing Incorporated 64 Ford F-150, but still nonetheless running in the top 10 just behind Cole Martin.
And that's living up to Tank Racing name right there, because that truck is not in great shape, but it just will not go away. And that 64 of Walt Lipicki still out there. And you know what? He's a little bit older tires. He came in one caution early, or a little bit ahead of that last caution. So he's a handful of laps older on those tires, but still nothing out of the question. He can't make it the rest of the way.
We can see any type of chaos unfold, but all those trucks behind him are going to be on fresher tires, so he's going to have his hands full if he wants to hold on to that top 10. But a great run nonetheless. Love seeing newcomers come and go, as we have Jack Johnson up here in 8th as well. Joseph DuPont up to 6th in that 88 machine. They are going to have their hands full holding off that 51 of Cole Martin, though, sitting there 5th back in the inside row, and that 51 Sandwich Man Racing machine. But we are getting ready to go back to green as the pace car lights are off. We are 2 by 2 by 2 all the way back for the Dodging Delaware 125. We are coming to the line with 23 to go. The pace car is going to peel off, and Ed Scher is going to try and get a big jump on that 16, who was having a good run there before that caution came out, and he does so.
And yet again, there goes 3rd place with that inside line, as Landon Cardulo getting a great jump, being able to follow the gap that's opened up by that jump from the leader in the 2 truck. Landon Cardulo back up to the 2nd position. That's something I think if we see any more restarts, keep your eye on the 3rd place driver the rest of the way.
He's in 2nd place now. He's making a move, and he is trying to close the gap on the 2 machine. This 13 has shown great speed all night. He's shown great speed all season, so I definitely expect him to be a contender once we get down to the end of the season. But we have a wreck in the turns right here. Caution has not come out for the broadcaster's curse. Number 18, he is trying to get it back going, and he does so. We are still green here.
I think it's been long enough that we can't claim that one. That was about 50 laps ago we showed his truck.
Well, right now, Lucas Lyons making a move on his teammate, fighting Michael Madden on the outside. Lucas Lyons up to 4th. We have him climbing up through the field. Dave Hughes Jr. running 3rd, has a little bit of damage I noticed on the right front. Not going to hurt him too much, but definitely making that truck tighter than he wants to. He's not really able to keep up with these leaders, as Landon is really putting the pressure on that 2 truck.
Yeah, and he's been very quick on these short runs. I'm not sure if we stay green the rest of the way, I'm not sure if it's going to be a little too aggressive there for the 13, but if we get these short runs continuing with a lot of cautions in the middle, he might have the right idea and just gunning for it right now.
Right now, Cole Martin is gunning for that lead. He's up to 7th now after restarting 9th, trying to make do. We are under caution again for our 8th caution of the night. Looks like it's going to be the 90 of Corey Knight, turned around right there, right in front of the pit road entrance. He's going to probably turn it down right here. No, he's going to stay on the track as he doesn't have too much engine damage, but going to fall a lap down as you see our leaders going by him on the outside. This is our 8th caution of the night. Let's go ahead and see exactly what happened with a Beer Street Journal wreck replay.
Yep, yet another one here tonight, and there's the 90 truck there, 3rd in line right now. There he's on the outside of Brian Crocker, and Crocker, it just did not get a good turn in there and had a lane underneath him, and I don't think Corey Knight expected him to be that high on the inside, and just a little contact there that got him turned around pretty easily here on these turns. Real easy to spin if you get that little bit of contact.
Yeah, just overdrove the entry to the turn a little bit, getting into the rear quarter panel of the 90 machine. But great job by Corey Knight of holding on to that truck, not sliding back down the track, in front of oncoming traffic. So, Landon, I'm going to bring you back up. Are we going to see any type of pit strategy here? I don't think anybody's coming down. Oh, we have a few. Michael Madden coming down.
Yeah, I was just about to say this would be a perfect time for guys who think that they can't quite get to the front to make the pass on Sure to, take some tires here, try to get a little bit of an advantage. There's only 19 trucks on the lead lap, so you're not going to fall too far back, and you still have enough time to get back up to the front. And with these cautions, pick up a couple positions, have a couple cautions, you could see yourself back up front with fresher tires in no time.
I think Michael Madden getting a little damage fixed as well, as he's taking a little bit of a longer pit stop there, Brandon.
Yeah, and this kind of caught me a little bit off guard in a sense that it wasn't more trucks that came down. I think when you see the 4th place truck go and the 5th place truck go, I thought there would have been a lot more that would have fallen in line behind them and saying, all right, well, if they're going to do it, we might as well do it, especially with only 19 trucks on the lead lap. So I'm a little surprised it was that low of an amount when you have a truck that was in the running order so high lead the way onto pit road.
Well, we had a few come down last time, right, Landon?
Yeah, we had a couple, but most of them were involved in that wreck. And Lucas Lyons just got caught speeding on pit road.
That is going to end his chances of getting a win tonight. That is all it takes. Like we just mentioned, it's so easy to do at Dover. Probably the easiest track to do so, coming down at 35 miles an hour.
Yeah, and it's going to have to be under green doing that drive-through penalty, so that is a very difficult thing there. He's going to go at least one lap down with how slow he's going to be moving, and that'll be the end to his chances tonight. Another great run, though, for the rookie driver in that 7.
Actually, Brandon, real quick, that's just an EOL penalty for speeding on pit road.
Oh, gotcha. Sorry about that.
Still going to be tough to come back from that. Nonetheless, he's going to need some caution to get him back into the lead pack. But, Nathan Mon is going to be the first car to come off of pit road with those fresh tires. He's going to be restarting in the 6th row back in 12th, so not too bad. This could be a great race-winning call. Not sure if he can do it with that damage, but for the likes of, Taylor Smith, who's just behind him in the 24 machine, also some damage. It could be some good calls here. Michael Amenti, who started 33rd, running 14th now. He's got a pretty clean truck. This could be a great call for these guys.
Yeah, I mean, I don't even know what to bank on at this point, though, anymore. This race, we already saw a good third of the field get caught up in that caution about a dozen laps, 20 laps ago. And now they're getting lined up here as we get ready to go. Before we have this restart. I'm not sure what's going to play out anymore because you got all kinds of different tire strategies, different tire ages at this point. Everybody can make it the rest of the way after coming in on that 90th lap or so, 86. So I'm real interested at how this is going to work now.
All right. Well, we're going to figure out exactly how it's going to work out here shortly as the pace car lights are off and we are 2 by 2 all the way back through the pack as they get it sorted out. We're going to come back to the stripe with green waving with 14 laps to go, and you see it there, quite the top 10, some newcomers and some people who are used to being here, but one of them, a new guy to the league, Landon Cardulo, going to try and spoil Edward Scherer's run tonight, go back-to-back potentially after winning Kansas last week. The pace car is off, and it's going to be in the 2's hands. He's going to get a nice restart here, gets a nice gap on the 13, and 13's going to have to make sure he is clear of Dave Hughes Jr. Cole Martin really bearing down on the 16.
Welcome back to the race for the lead. Cole Martin did not take long to move up from that 21st position after getting caught up in that accident, and he is all the way back up to 4th already, and within a second of the lead is Ed Shearer continuing to hold off Landon Cardulo, who did a great job. And we got Nathan Mon gets around. He got loose off of turn 4 into the wall, but we stay green.
There for the 21. He's probably going to bring it down and end his night as that truck is really hurt. The 2 trucks that are not hurt right now, the 2 and the 13, having a great battle for the lead. 13 just 1 or 2 car lengths behind the 2, just following him in his footsteps, waiting for him to make a mistake. Cole Martin making a move for the inside of Dave Hughes Jr. for third. He's going to pull that off as he clears the 16. Cole Martin up to third. He is going to try and close that 1 second gap up to the lead.
Want to know why Cole Martin was the champion last season? This is a great example of it. The resiliency. He's already gained 18 spots in the last under 30 laps. So really about 20 laps. And yeah, there's a little bit of help there with that big pile up that happened. But unbelievable that he's already back up to third. And speaking of moving back up, here comes Michael Madden on those fresh tires. Got that damage repaired, and he's already back up to 7th.
He restarted 19th just a few laps ago, already up to 7th. Man, if he can get a caution to come out, which is definitely within the realm of possibility, we have one crashing out here on the backstretch. He just parked it and towed it real quick, so no caution here. But yeah, if he can get that out, he is going to be a strong contender as he starts to look at the 88 of Joseph DuPont right in front of him. Michael Madden could still come away with the top 5 tonight after a really rough night tonight.
It's a little surprising because we haven't seen a massive amount of tire fall off for these trucks with how well they've handled around this Monster Mile. But the guys that came in for that late pit stop on that last caution really moving their way through the field.
Yeah, Jonathan Byer working his way past Dave Hughes Jr., getting up to 4th. Great run by the 66 tonight. Dave Hughes going to try and hold on to a top 5, but he's got Joseph DuPont, Michael Madden bearing down on that 88. He's going to take a look to the inside. He's going to have a great run on the exit of 2. He's going to fly by that 88. This 15 is begging for a caution right now. He wants to get up there to run with these leaders. Up to 6 already. He's going to get on Dave Hughes' bumper here and get by him on the straightaway. Michael Madden is back to the top 5. He's going to be staring down Jonathan Byer to try to get up to 4th.
You say that Michael Madden wants a caution. No offense to Ed Shearer and Landon Cardulo, but I want a caution because I want to see how Martin, Byer, and Madden do against them if we get a late restart here in the final handful of laps. But the one person that does not want that is the driver of that Napa 2 truck, Ed Shearer, continuing to lead the way as he's done for the past 60 laps or so. And Shearer is nearly a second clear of Cardulo in second.
2 truck has shown great pace all season, seeing the same thing here tonight at Dover, up to a 7.5 tenths lead over the 13 of Cardulo. So we're going to see exactly what happens here as Cole Martin starts to reel in that 13 machine. Going on board with the 2 truck here, and just see how easy he's making it look.
I think the only thing that stops the 2 truck at this point is a mistake or a caution, but everybody getting pretty single file at this point from 8th on back as Blair Holloman has just moved around Dave Hughes, who continues to drop through the standings down to 9th, but we're not seeing a whole lot of passing at this point. Cole Martin just blinked out once again. You see his name disappear from our scoring pylon. Not sure if he's going to be coming back in any second, but this is a lengthy blink for him. But Ed Shearer just continuing to coast to the finish here with 3 laps to go.
And just really, this race will be over within 1 minute if this stays green. So not a lot of time left to get things done. Cardulo going to try and hold on to that second place position as Cole Martin is right there. Jonathan Byer also right there. Michael Madden getting a great run up to the top 5. Not going to have the time to get it done as we are down to 2 laps to go. Next time by, we will be seeing the white flag for this 2.
And you think about last season, we had 3 drivers win back-to-back races. It was Corey Saucier, Cole Martin, and Michael Madden. All had consecutive race wins here in the Truck Series. All 3 of them were in our Championship 5 at the end of the season. This might be a great sign for the man behind the 2.
See the white flag waving from our flag man up there in the stand. He has 1 lap to go. He's going to get by the 224 here, put him a lap down, and head out of 2. Looking down the stretch to turn 3, hoping there's no trouble in front of him. He's going to come around turn 3, heading out of 4. Edward Scherer is going to be our winner back-to-back in the SRN Truck Series. We have a newcomer here to stay here in the SRN Truck Series.
And what a showing here in the first 3 weeks for Ed Shearer as he gets his 2nd consecutive win after a strong running as well at Daytona. There you see that little congratulatory tap there from Landon Cardulo, our runner-up today. Cole Martin will be a third-place finisher after coming back from 21st. Michael Madden getting that damage repair late and falling back to 19th, moves all the way up to 4th. Jonathan Byer, 2 laps down midway through this race, a little bit later than that even. After trying that gamble on the early pit stop, he winds up all the way back up to 5th. Unbelievable showing for him.
We're going to go ahead and have some celebratory donuts here on the front stretch of the Monster Mile. And while this happens, I want to go ahead and thank our pit reporter, Landon Lacey, for joining us tonight. Landon, we hope you had fun.
Yes, sir. I had a great time. Watching this race and watching Sherry do a burnout here. I'm ready to race tomorrow. I can't wait.
Well, you got a few other guys up here that might have something to say when we head out to Thursday. But thanks for joining us tonight, bud. We'll see you out on track tomorrow.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much for having me.
Let's go ahead and go through our race results here for the Dodging Delaware 125. You said it, Shearer, coming away with back-to-back wins for Roel Motorsports. Landon Cardulo, a great run tonight, coming home in second for Jonathan Byer Racing. Cole Martin, last season's champion, going to be in third, with Michael Madden getting by Byer there at the end, coming away with fourth. Byer going to be fifth.
And then our next 5, Joseph DuPont, the highest finisher for the do-gooders, who had 2 in the top 10. He'll be our 6th-place finisher. Michael Amenti came all the way from 33rd on the starting grid to finish 7th. Blair Holloman will be the first of 2 straight Zuyos drivers. He'll be in 8th. Dave Hughes Jr., great showing tonight. Kind of got caught off guard on those tire strategy late, fell down to the 9th-place finish. And Taylor Smith for the do-gooders, rounding out our top 10.
Yeah, Jack Johnson going to come home with a great run after starting 29th, going to be 11th. Rob Yost, another one with a big gain tonight, started 34th, going to be 12th. 13th going to be Walt Lepicki. Great run by him in the 64 machine. Jason Krakke going to be 14th, with Bobby Anderson coming home in 15th.
In 16th place, it'll be James Kerr. He was the last driver on the lead lap. 17th in the first one lap down, Bruce Amston. Also a lap down, Cody Riggs in 18th, Josh Mueller in 19th. And the last one on 1 lap down, Nathan Mon, who had a rough night there with that late spin. He will be rounding out the top 20.
There you have it. That's your top 20 for the Dodging Delaware 125. Let's go ahead and talk to our podium finishers tonight, and the first of which is going to be our 3rd place finisher. It's going to be Cole Martin. Cole, it's Greg and Brandon up in the booth. You had a bit of a rough race there towards the middle of the race, led a lot of laps to begin with, had to go down the pits and fall to the back. Tell us about that run up to the front.
Yeah, it was you had to do it safely again. Dover is a very small track and smaller places to race, so you had to be very careful working your way up through the field, and cautions helped me a lot, and I got my way back up to 3rd.
Yeah, how was the view? We rode on board with you on that big pile up there on the front stretch, but how did it feel getting through that one? You were one of maybe 2 or 3 that were from that position all the way back that actually made your way through it.
Hey, when you have a fantastic spotter, and Jake Royale up in the spotter stand, man, I mean, he was yelling at me, stay high, slow up and stop. I mean, I thought I was going to be caught up in it, but when you listen to your spotter, I mean, you'll make it through.
Well, Cole, you got a little bit of a teammate battle on your hands. Ed Shearer, tell us about your relationship with him. How's it working with a newcomer to the league, and have you taken note yet of this guy?
Yeah, Ed's a fast dude. We over the off season, all of RMS is scouted tons of people and found this dude from another league that we've ran with a couple times in the last year or so, and that was the dude that we needed on the team. He has a good team spirit, like all of us do, and he's giving me some competition out there. I mean, I don't care if a teammate wins, but I want to win sometime.
I couldn't agree more, man. I'm sure we will see it here shortly, but great run nonetheless tonight. But you are used to this up here in the booth. Let's hear your sponsors, and if you got any friends and family you want to give a shout out to.
Yeah, I'd like to thank all of RMS for giving me the chance to race for them, and all they do, practice and everything, paint scheme from off Apex Designs, and also Sandwich Man Racing Sports Memorabilia for sponsoring me. Make sure to use code COLE51 checkout, 10% off your order. Get any diecast you want. All up, got a great selection out there, and I think that's about it.
All right, Cole. Well, we'll send you back down there with your team. Great run tonight, and we will be talking to you in the future, I expect. So have a good night, bud.
Thanks, Greg and Brandon.
There you have it. That is our third place finisher. Last season's champion, Cole Martin, itching to get that first win of the season, but nonetheless happy for his teammate out there in the 2 machine. But let's go ahead and talk to the guy who finished in the number 2 spot. It's a newcomer to SRN. Before we get to this, we're going to go ahead and just come out with it and ask Landon, how do you say your last name? Because we said it a lot tonight, and I'm sure we said it wrong a lot tonight too.
You guys are getting pretty close. It's Cardulo.
Okay. Well, we did say that probably half the time tonight, and probably another way to half the time as well. But great run tonight. And tell us about your race in that 13 machine.
It was exciting. I know the top on the restarts wasn't ideal for half of the field, unless it wasn't for me. Truck got tight on the long runs, but other than that, it was smooth. Cautions kind of played out in, I'd say, everybody's favor. I'm glad we didn't get one at the final laps, or I would have probably been in 6th or 7th place.
Well, and one thing with you being new to the league, I'm looking ahead to next week because we got a little road course racing here coming up. How do you feel about going from what we've had on these ovals, the first 3, and getting onto the road courses?
My road course record isn't so well, so I'm gonna go in there and try to stay in the top 10, top 15, just get some points, as much points as possible, and stay out of everybody's damage and wrecks and everything like that. So.
Well, with the speed that you've had in that 13 machine, we expect to see you having the same speed next week at the Roval. But before we let you go, do you have any sponsors you want to give a shout out to, as well as any friends or family you want to go ahead and say hey to?
Yeah, I got a couple sponsors: Shippo, RentalCars.com, Vroom, and we got Fiverr as well that just hopped on this week. Also want to give a huge shout out to Jonathan and the whole JBR racing team. They've really kind of taken me in and kind of showed me how to run, and the consistency is there. And also want to thank my grandparents and my girlfriend for tuning in, and it's makes me feel pretty good about it. So.
Well, we want to thank them for tuning in as well. You're putting on a great show out there, and yeah, they might have to go to Jonathan Byer Racing School here. If they are showing you how it's done, you are making it work out there on the track. So let's go ahead and send you back down to your team, Landon. Have a great night, and we'll be talking to you in the future.
Sounds good. I appreciate you guys. You guys are killing it up there.
Appreciate it, man. Thanks. Take care.
Thank you.
That was our runner-up tonight, Landon Cardulo. Now that we know officially how to say his last name, Brandon. So let's go ahead and move on to another one that we probably need to figure out exactly how to say his last name, because we have been saying it quite a bit lately. Back-to-back winner, Edward Shearer. Are we saying that right, Ed, before we get into this interview?
Yes, you are.
It's
actually surprising because most people have trouble saying it, but you guys are nailing it on the dot. Like, it's perfect.
Well, I love hearing that, because you know what? We've been saying it quite a bit lately, as you have been the new guy on the block, and really, throwing a feather into the cap for, or into the race for the championship here. Back-to-back wins in SRN's Truck Series. We're only on week 3, man. Tell us about your race tonight, how that truck was so fast.
I mean, I had so much confidence going into here. I mean, I'm from New York. I'm a New York person, but ever since I was little, I've grew up around Dover Dover Motor Speedway, and I went to New Hampshire a bunch of times, but Dover's like my main place. I love racing here. I enjoy watching them, racing it, whatever happens. I feel like I have like the best tactics here. I just enjoy racing this place so much, and coming into tonight, the only concern I had was short run speed, which kind of helped me out there a little bit in the end, which is nice. But I mean, I felt like I had a better long run truck than everybody else, in my opinion. But I mean, working with the RMS guys, I mean, we were working on what we had to run steering ratio wise, how the tire fall off is, depending on the track temp, which was a big factor in this to begin with. And plus, with all the cautions, really played our factor a lot too. Unfortunately, a couple of our guys got involved in some of the wrecks, but luckily we had a couple of guys finish strongly there. But overall, I mean, I don't know if this is what to say about this, to be honest. It's like I never felt so good about winning with this 2-truck team and everybody at RMS. I mean, it's just insane how we're pulling this off, and it feels even special winning at Dover because of all the history I've had here, and it's just really great day in overall.
Well, and you've had some great runs here thus far. Even, I know Daytona didn't get the result that you wanted, but still had some flashes there that were really good. You're looking like a very strong contender this season. And you touched on the one thing I've noticed is that long run speed. You've done a fantastic job on. And is that a lot of team communication, or is that something that you've always been kind of just on and just being very patient as a driver and letting the truck come to you?
So when I first got into iRacing, I wasn't the best at knowing how to tire save. Like, I did a lot of practice and learning, and a couple of friends of mine and my current crew chief, Connor, we went in a lot of study of how to manage my tires, knowing how to manage the steering ratio, the brake bias, when you should brake on entry and all that, what tracks deserve to get the certain amount of brake usage, or what to manage for tire length and how long to go on a stop. It's just something that grew over time with me, and I've been helping the boys at RMS figure it out a little bit too. Like, we all get in accordance of how we should tire save, but as soon as I got here, they're like, "Oh, this guy's gonna wipe us clean because he's the better tire saver of all of us." Like, it's just, I mean, we're all learning a process together. I mean, we're still new, but yeah, it's just something I grew over time with. It's just an easy learning step, and a lot of people that want to get into iRacing, I recommend doing a lot of ARCA races, because those really show how you're supposed to manage your tires properly because of how those cars drive. They're insane hard to drive. The trucks are my favorite overall, right next to the Xfinity. But, I mean, just tire saving is just something you have to learn up with. It didn't take me long, probably like maybe a couple months, but it's just something that grew over time with me.
Well, take notes, everybody. Giving out some of his secrets right here on his post-race interview. Before we let you go, I want to go ahead and ask a question that Brandon asked our last guy, Landon Cardulo. Are we going to expect to see you running up front next week at a little bit of a different track? We're going to be at the Roval next week. What are your road racing skills like?
So I've done a lot of road racing recently. I've been getting a lot of practice with the road racing. I've been doing a lot of like B and C fix and stuff. I've been doing the Ferrari GTs, and I've been doing a lot of road racing on NASCAR too. So the Roval is a good track for me, but my favorite's always Watkins Glen, which I believe we're going there later down the road, I believe. Correct? If I'm wrong. But yeah, the Roval is good to me. I feel confident with this two truck and this whole team that we can compete for wins each and every week, and I really think that tonight, I think it proves a stamp that we should be up there in the championship contention here. So I'm just hoping that we can maintain this good stretch of luck and bring it on to the Charlotte Roval.
With 2 wins already in 3 weeks, I think you're definitely in that talk for the championship contention this year. But before we let you go, you did it last week. Let's hear your sponsors. Any shout-outs you want to give as well?
I just want to shout out to everybody at RMS, Jake Roel, who leads the whole team in the charge, all my teammates, Cole Martin, Nathan, Michael York, Troy, just basically everybody, all the spotters and all the Xfinity guys. My spotter mainly, who I call my Alec Gustafson, Connor. He's been nothing but the best, to be honest. He's been there for me for everything. He'll be with me tomorrow as I'm doing double duty tomorrow. I'll be doing the Xfinity race tomorrow. So, but yeah, just basically everybody at RMS, Apex Designs, as always, for doing all of our schemes, which I'm having hopefully mine done sooner or later. I think in the coming weeks, hopefully. But yeah, just a shout out to everybody, my mom for watching and supporting me all the way, and just basically everybody that supports the broadcast, you guys as well for doing these fantastic shows, and everybody at SRN who puts on such great races like these, and Trip for allowing me in and doing all he does, and yeah, pretty much that's it. I think I got the whole thing.
Yeah, we appreciate the shout out, and definitely excited to see you doing so well. But yeah, me and Brandon will be seeing you tomorrow out there then for the Xfinity Series race. And best of luck tomorrow. But for now, we'll send you back down to your team. Have a good night. And yeah, like I said, we will see you tomorrow.
Yes, sir. Appreciate it, boys. Thank you.
Well, there you have it. Our top 3 at a great race, the Dodging Delaware 125. Quick recap. We only had 8 cautions tonight for 31 laps, 12 lead changes. And the fastest time going to Ed Shearer out there, our winner tonight in that 2 machine. Brandon, what did you think about that race tonight?
That was we had some issues there early, especially with loading in those cautions early. But last year, you look at it, we had 12 cautions for 48 laps of the 125 that we ran. So significantly better this season with 4 fewer cautions, about a dozen fewer caution laps. Thought that was a great job of how they just handled this track tonight, and it shows how this truck series is really developing more and more talent as we go from one season to the next.
Yeah, it's very exciting to see just all the talent that is in this league all around, but nonetheless, the Truck Series really bringing it this year, putting on a heck of a show week in, week out. We didn't think we would get nearly as good a show we saw at Kansas, and I think we did tonight. It was a great race at Dover, but we are moving on, like we talked to in our interviews, to the Roval next week for the Right Turn Roval 90 out at Charlotte. That's going to be Wednesday, August 4th at 9 p.m. Central, 10 p.m. Eastern. Brandon, are you excited for some road course racing?
You know what? I actually enjoy road racing, so this is a welcome sight to me to see two road courses this season. I do like the Charlotte Roval. Not my favorite of the road courses, but it always leads to some exciting road racing. And I think these trucks, we saw it last year, great finish when we had the Daytona road course. I think we'll see something similar this time around with the slightly shorter kind of twin of it at Charlotte coming in at the original Roval for NASCAR.
Maybe we should kick you out of the booth next week, put you down the Truck Series. What do you say about that?
You know, it was a thought that's still kind of festering a little bit. I might not mind it, but we'll see what happens.
All right, well, that's going to be next week. Our next race will be tomorrow. It's going to have Brandon, myself, and Landon, our pit reporter, in it tomorrow for the Xfinity Series Race Week 3, Dodging Delaware 150. That'll be tomorrow, July 29th at 8:30 p.m. Central, 9:30 Eastern Time. Brandon, what do we expect from the old 20 machine out there tomorrow?
A lot less excitement than the road course, I think. But it's it's been a rough couple weeks for me. Transitioning to these Xfinity cars is a big jump compared to what you get with the trucks. They handle very differently. But as far as the race goes, I think we're going to see something really good tomorrow. No fast repairs for the first time at Dover for the Xfinity drivers. I think that's going to lead to a little bit more cautious racing, and I think it's going to be a pretty solid race. How are you feeling about tomorrow?
I'm feeling pretty good. I know a lot of people are feeling pretty good about Dover. It's a lot of people's favorite track. It's very fast. It's a very tire-saving based track, and I've been starting to get noticed for my long run. So if I can get a long run going tomorrow, we could be in contention for a good finish. Not going to say a win because, we have a lot of great guys out there running for that W, but still want to have a good run. I expect a great race with all the Xfinity guys out there tomorrow, and a great, show for everyone in attendance here on YouTube. And that leads me into asking you guys, if you loved what you saw tonight, please give us a thumbs up and subscribe to SpeedRacingNetwork.com or Speed Racing Network, the channel on YouTube, and click the bell so you know when we go live. That way you can catch every race that we have here. But for now, that is going to do it for us tonight. A great run for the trucks at Dover. We will always leave you with go faster.